It's going to be accurate and pretty intelligent and stuff. I just wanted to warn you, I'm going to be using some Bible verses, but I won't be using it from the Bible that you guys are used to. This is called the Word on the Street, and it is the Bible for people who've read the Bible too much. I wanted to use this as a second to thank CCM as I'm about to pull out of here. Focus for putting my spiritual life where it is today, because there's no way I could have done this without you, and I'm not really sure what it would have been without CCM Focus, but it wouldn't be here, obviously. But I've grown so much, and this has been a great network, a great hotline to God. On the same note, I've had a really unique ability to view my spiritual life 3 summers away from this community and a semester away. And I think what's made that a little bit easier in the struggles that that's caused is putting CCM Focus in its proper sphere. It's not a warm, fuzzy blanket, but it's really a period in my life for development. And it's something that was only meant to be temporary, and that it's not a place to rest in except while you're here. It's like a day spa for your spiritual life. I realize that we're not all leaving CCM like I am, but we're going to summer, so this could be applicable to you. And summer is a great chance to kind of test drive the car of your spiritual life. As someone who is now entering the real world, who has a rent, job, a car, and hopefully the delightful pleasure of a sleek Maine Coon cat named Mr. Podgers in the near future, the real world's not really that intuitive, and summer is a great chance to try it all out. And I just want to read to you a quick verse to open this up about how we're going to face a little bit of struggle in all of this from this hip and cool Bible. This is a take on 2 Corinthians chapter 16, or verses 16 through 18. Therefore, we're not giving it up as a bad job, even though on the face of it we're wasting away, but our spiritual selves are being freshly formed every day. For these trivial hassles, these mini problems are building up a limitless level of bonuses in heaven. That's our focus, our target. Not what you can see, but the invisible things. If you can see it, it's finite. If you can't, it's infinite. So I've kind of realized that when I step away from this community, I go through several phases, and 4 of them when I narrowed it down. The first one I go through is the high life, and I step away kind of really excited, like really stoked. I'm on fire, and I think you guys might have all felt this. Like, first summer home after freshman year, I was in Focus. It was great, and I was all invigorated. I was like, my sister, I was like, let's sit down and study the Bible every night, and she thought I was crazy, and she still thinks I'm crazy because she's 16. So maybe even studying this year with an incredible discipler or doing whatever, and some great spiritually righteous compadres. And then the next phase I go through is I kind of start slipping a little bit. And this is natural for me. I'll sleep too late for daily mass, go a while without confession, and fall back into some habits I had that don't really complement my shiny, cool Catholic cucumber lifestyle. And it's so easy to look over these little blips on the radar, and they keep powering through it every day. But these blips have the tendency to become habits, and those habits don't become you. And then they become an acceptable, predominant pattern. I guess this kind of brings me to a period that I tend to encounter when I am really starting to slip heavily, and that's my desolation. And summer is a pretty strong time for me to do that. I mean, it's kind of a weird limbo that you're going through. You guys become independent, and you go back home, where you were in a different kind of phase of mind, different state of life. To speak personally, when I went to Sweden, I went through some pretty hard desolation. I left the last upper room I was there with tears in my eyes, but I was like, I got a game plan. This is going to work out really, really well. And to be absolutely positively certain, I do not regret studying abroad. I cannot encourage it any more than I am right now. But you have to have a game plan. And it was my naivety that led to my downfall. But I move into my dorm room in Sweden, Pege Vejes, 16, 3rd floor, a party floor so prolific it was known throughout Europe. And to testify to that, one morning I woke up and found footprints on my door and a person passed out in the middle of the hall. But I still thought this is going to be incredibly simple. I'm just going to walk over to what was the only church in walking distance. It was a stone and mud hut in the middle of campus. And that had been kind of taken over as a church. And it could fit 2 people on a good day, maybe. And I thought, I'm going to go there and have my spiritual holy hours and go to Mass every Saturday night. Didn't work out, but I tried hooking up with this spiritual community that I will never, ever forget. And I don't see Julian, but it was called the Vekwa International Christian Society. I met every Monday night for 2 hours. And there was such a wide range of religions there, such a wide cast. We had Syrian Orthodox who couldn't pray in a group because they had to get a full bath and shower first. Like, they had to be totally clean, so they would laugh at us when we prayed together. And then there was a group of Ethiopian evangelicals who would just have, like, these like, thick accents and just rambling wisdom that I only caught half of, but I knew it was awesome. And I will say that it was led by a man who was about as fun and spontaneous as reading the encyclopedia on a Saturday night. And just so you know, Julie and I led what I will confidently say was the first focused Bible study in Scandinavia. So... There we go. But the core of my stomach, I felt really lonely. I felt despair, and I was not used to this whole kind of doing it on my own. I wasn't ready. I missed being invited to TNS on Facebook. I missed everything. My easy link to my discipler was a really choppy Skype. I think I Skyped to some of you. It was terrible. The internet kept on going out. And I wasn't used to such a lack of supplication. I felt my prayer life slipping under my fingers, and it just got so boring and dull and just so bad. And I felt ashamed. And I found myself filling these like new voids with really shallow and empty things. Another hip and cool Bible verse, if you will. And since they chucked God out, they had plenty of spare space to stock up with a whole lot of emptiness, stolen van loads of lust, depots full of depravity, bags and boxes bulging with filthy merchandise, all long past their sell date, festering away and waiting to be stuffed down on some all-night binge. But this winds God up big time. It's the dark stuff that people get stuck into just to drown out the truth. And you can't miss it unless you're not looking, which you're not. They've got their eyes closed and their heads down and their souls switched off. And the darkness makes everything scream, what's the point? And I found myself asking that after a while. But I've gone through all those kind of struggles, and I think we all have our own stories of some pretty not amazing times in our spiritual life. And I kind of parsed out a way that I do deal with it now. And maybe something I said rings a bell. Maybe you guys have been any places that I was just kind of going over. And I'm not saying this is a universal progression. But for all my shortcomings, God has never stopped providing me with the tools to